right, this is Hop from Hop Smell Show, and today we have Jeff Worley from Jackyl. Man's been with Jackyl a mighty long time. I'm a huge Jackyl fan. Been a Jackyl fan for many years. Pretty honored to be able to interview him today. So here we go. Welcome to Hop Smell Show. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey man, how you doing?
All doing good.
Thanks
All
for
right.
that introduction. That was too kind.
Oh well, y'all are the real deal live, man. It's like I saw
We
you the first time I seen you.
Yeah, I've been with Jackyl a long time. I drew the logo when I was in the ninth grade.
Cool deal.
The logo you're wearing, yep, I drew it in the lat and when I was in the ninth grade.
Speaking of the ninth grade, all
And
right.
then of course it just kept expanding.
Or is there any chance that you and your brother from Baker, West Virginia?
Not a chance.
Because that's what we'd
From
always
and the
heard.
band started. No, I think I kind of traced. I thought about that a little bit, and I kind of traced maybe where that might have come from. It has nothing to do with me and my brother, but Jimmy Stiff, that was a member of the band for a few years. They were on him and Tom Bettini, the first bass player, and Jimmy, my friend that played guitar on the first records. His mother lived up there. So that's the only tie I can. But me and my brother started the band. I'm actually sitting 20 feet from where the band started in the first place, my garage.
All right.
So well, Seneca, South Carolina.
So
are you familiar with Clemson University?
I know what it is, but I'm not.
I'm 4 miles from Clemson on the lake. Gotcha. Born and raised.
Guys, I was going to stay out of it. I can't take the pressure. I've been in Hartwell, Georgia a whole bunch of times, Jeff, and one of my best friends lives in Seneca as well.
Who did what now?
One of my best friends lives in Seneca and teaches there at the Tri-County Technical College.
Right, where my daughter goes.
Exactly. So I'm very familiar with Seneca.
I told her to go over and say hey to him.
Very cool.
But yes, that's where me and my brother are from, and that's where the band started. And we can go to the chronology, but we started, and then I had Jimmy that was on the. You'll see him. If you take the first Jackyl record, turn the back, that's the band. And then we had a few singers, and then there was a band called PG-13 that was the big kind of band, up and coming, older than we were, except for their singer. And that was Jesse. And when we saw, they were our favorite band. We would play gigs and go see them because they were our favorite band. And then they broke up or something happened. And then the next thing you know, Jesse was free and we got together and the rest is history.
Well, it was
about a year. Go ahead.
I was getting ready to ask you how y'all got hooked up with Jesse, but you just explained it. So that's cool.
We were all friends. But we love their band. They see what people don't realize now. Kids, my son's in a band. Back in the late 80s, through the 80s, but the late 80s and 90s, when we started playing out, you could play every night of the week at some club in every town. And some towns had 2 or 3 rock clubs, but they were divided up into classes. You had the good one, the kind of middle of the road, and the crappy one. Well, we were in the crappy one, and Jesse and his band were in the good one. But they played more kind of top. But if you played the good one, you had to play top 40 hits and stuff. And I wasn't never going to do that. I played Sex Pistols. It was all metal and punk rock. That's where me and my brother come from. That's kind of what makes everything go round here with the sound is like, you know. And but we eventually graduated. And that's how he came. But we asked him to join the band. And he had actually been out of the music business for a minute and we had it and started running a club, hired us to play. And then the next thing you know, I was like, dude, you know, it's inevitable. And we started by playing 3 songs a night together at his club. We had another singer. And we'd have a crowd of people. The line would be around the building to see us play 3 songs with Jesse singing. And then we're probably the first band in history where the lead singer before Jesse we didn't have to fire him. When Jesse played with us, and that night, the first or second night we did that, he said, "Dude, I'm out. This is it. I never stand in the way of this," and that was that. We've loved him for it.
It's pretty honorable of him.
That's kind of that story. Yeah, he died earlier in 2024, and God bless him. But he stepped out of the way, and then we took off from there, man. And no looking back.
I know the I Stand Alone video. Is that really a true story?
Oh, there's more to that story than you even know what's true. You mean, did we really pull that thing up in front of Kmart and all that stuff?
Yeah, and all the
what part is you want to know about true?
Yeah, what did they not carry your album and everything that goes along with the video? It's just what.
Oh yeah, that was true. Absolutely, that was true. Yeah,
they stuck. We were in and stuff like that too when y'all was playing.
Okay, we had made a basic plan, and we had. Long story short, we had begged Geffen, and kind of if you read my book, I think I might have split that book. I think I wrote some about it in there. We didn't have a big budget. I think we begged for 15 grand, and then we were just going to shoot some stuff, and we knew we were going to get rid of that orange van. You see, you know the orange van that explodes.
Yeah,
that was our touring vehicle, and we had made a pact that we wasn't going to get anything else till that thing died. So we put it out of its misery by blowing it up with fertilizer and kerosene. Okay. But what had happened with that video was, yes, we pulled up, we had the stuff on the truck, we pulled up, we had shot a bunch of stuff, and we blowed the van up and we got all that footage. But the funny thing about the cops, the police station was right across the street from that Kmart, and we expected them to show up. Like, but by the time we knew, we had played about a half a song, and they'd be over there. What the heck's going on? Because the radio station had said, "Go down to Kmart." Jackyl's playing outside. Got all this crap going on, and they never came. We played like 4 songs. We had to call them on us. We had to call and say, "Come down here. There's something going on," and then we jumped back up and played. It was hilarious. And the manager came out, and we expected him to raise hell about a band pulling up and all these people. And all he did was run out and say, "Give me a minute to get the lawnmowers and bicycles in." That's when they used to put them on the sidewalk, when you walk in. He said, "I love it. Let's go. But let me get the lawnmowers in." We said, "Get the lawnmowers in." But that day we had done something that was changed everything. We had went and filmed inside a Longhorn Steakhouse. And we had set up, it was in Ackworth or Kennesaw, somewhere near Jesse's. See, here's where our office and our main headquarters is at Jesse's in Atlanta, where I live. It's 126 miles from my mailbox, trust me. But that's where everything stays, the road gear, the office, everything. And we do the bus and everything out of there because it's right on I-75. Me and my brother live back up in the sticks in South Carolina. So it's perfect. But we started here, but our office is in Atlanta. So that's kind of how people get kind of mixed up. But I digress. Back to that video. Yeah, so we went in, and supposedly the video director and the people at Longhorn had signed releases, and we were going to go in. And like where the girl or the person that greets you, you could make a left. Right went out to the regular people in the big area to eat, and left went up to this room that they had some radio executives from Atlanta, some record company people, and we were going to go in, and Jesse was going to cut the table in half with the chainsaw, and we were going to film it and all this great. So we burst in, all of that goes, we leave. And then we find the dust settles that something went on after people were jumping out windows, and all of this stuff went on, and we ended up costing us about $1 million. So we started with 15,000, and by the time that damn thing you watch is over, cost $1,015,000 because of the lawsuits. And I've still not seen the footage in 30 years, and Geffen don't exist anymore. but they had to pay out. But now this is my own personal thing. They all of a sudden we owed them some money, so they had to keep us, even though the song didn't really start charting. And who knows, they might have dropped us. But now we had to owe them some money that they had to carry back. And then about a month or two after that, some DJ in Portland, Oregon, or Washington State started playing the Lumberjack. And the next thing you know, boom. And we never expected that to happen. And we never thought about that being a single or nothing. Who in the world? We didn't even have lyrics for it till we got to Los Angeles to record the record. We never expected none of that. It was just something to do. Yeah. So that's how that came about. Everybody thinks we thought about that in some big grand scheme. Hell no. It just fell out of the. It was like, we need another song for the record. And the guy that signed us, John Colodner, if you ever seen him with Aerosmith or Sammy Hagar with the long beard, that's John. Yeah. Most powerful guy. He signed everybody. He signed us. He was like, "Where's the chainsaw song?" And we was like, "We ain't gonna do that thing." He said, "Write lyrics." And Jesse walked out the door back in 30 seconds, and the rest is history. Well, we tried to record it, and then we told him we couldn't, and we're in Los Angeles, right? We said we can't do it without some bales of hay and some chickens. And trying to find a damn chicken that ain't frozen in downtown Los Angeles is hard. So we sent out, our buddies sent out to Bakersfield, California, because Bakersfield, California is a farming community. So they sent down there, and he come back, and he couldn't find some chickens. He found a couple of chickens, a couple of roosters, and do you know what a guinea hen is?
Yes.
Okay, well, let me tell you something. They don't know what the hell it is in Los Angeles. It looks like a prehistoric animal. So they brought them things back, and we set them loose in $1 million studio. The exact studio where Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses recorded November Rain. So that piano, that was our room. It's a 3-room studio called Rumbo. You got 3 bands recorded once. Across from us was the Traveling Wilburys with all my heroes, Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne, George Harrison. When we got there, think of that. Our mouths were constantly gaped open. And Ted Nugent and the damn Yankees were recording their second record upstairs while we were there. It was funny. All the old rocker dudes loved what we were doing. Ted was telling everybody he taught us how to do. We wasn't doing nothing. We were just like, but what we had forgotten about chickens and stuff, if you listen to the Lumberjack, you'll hear them in the very end.
Yeah.
Just to start hollering. Well, they're actually, but we didn't know it. And let me preface it with the studio's owned by the Captain and Tennille from the 70s. And they were always around because every Friday, Tony Tennille would go pick up the money everybody's paying to record at their studio. She'd be in there. That's another story altogether, but I'll stay on this one. But so after we recorded the Lumberjack, what you hear is the 4th time. We only did it 4 times. At the end of the night, we'll record that stupid thing. And if we get it, we get it. We don't, we don't. And that's the 4th one. And then, but we forgot that chickens crap everywhere. So they were crapping $50,000 pianos. Oh, it was a mess. And then we get a call from the record company and John Colodner. And we had been in the studio in Los Angeles for about 8 days, something around that. And the president of the company's calling and with John, and they want us all listening because all hell's broke loose because of these chickens and other stuff going on. All right. So we thought, you know what? Our career lasted 8 days and we got a major record deal. So if we flying home tomorrow, it was worth it, right? But gathered us around and John said, listen, all that stuff, we heard about the chickens and they're crapping everywhere and all of this stuff. And he said, listen, here's what we want y'all to do. I want you to hear it good. Keep doing what you're doing. We was like, we can do that. And we was like, no, wait. Now, fair enough. We didn't realize that we were paying for it at that point, like every other dumbass young band. But that's how that ended up. And we did the record and out we go. But there's a lot of stuff went on there. There's more. One day Ted Nugent came in, and I'll end you with this one for that story. He came in, and we're in Los Angeles, mind you, and he said, Worley's. He just kicked the door. Worley's to me and my brother. and said, come out to this truck and help me unload something. So there's a Penske truck, and we opened it, and it had a bear, an elk, and a deer. And it wasn't real. It was the big ones you shoot bow and arrows at. And we take those out into this parking lot in Los Angeles, and we're setting them up. And Ted's going to practice his shooting. And with about 25 minutes, Peter showed up. Then people in Los Angeles thought they was real. I'll stop there. That's all you need to know. They were going to protest of them rubber elk being shot at. But anyway, it was fun, and we had a lot of fun there. That's how that went, though.
Well, so Jeff,
go ahead.
For what it's worth, Seneca, South Carolina, and where we're at outside of Harrisonburg, Virginia, aren't very different from one another. We're kind of in the sticks too, so we understand.
I get you. Well, the house that I'm sitting in now is the house I grew. I've never been in another house. Me and my brother and all our family live on land my grandfather bought 100 years ago when he got out of the Marine Corps. And the old home place, my son lives there. I took over the house my dad built when my brother was born. And then behind me is Lake Hartwell. And on the lake is my dad's new house. We built him when we finally started making some money. And next to that is my brother's new house. So they're right there on the lake. I'm in the then you go out a mile-long road with cousins on each side. It's almost unheard of.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I just took it over, and I say this, and when me and my brother were 18, 17, 16, we started playing. We wasn't going to stay in this hick town. We were going to get out and make it. We got tired of this hick town. And then a couple of times around the world, I realized I was living in paradise, and I came right back to ground one. And I can go out now and do my thing and come back to ground one where I was, where it all started. So
100%.
Exactly.
So before we get off the chainsaw, Hop's got to tell you about the time he got in trouble cutting firewood with his dad when he tried to play the solo. I think we were roommates at the time. He tried to play the solo, and I think he might have got his ass whipped. I'm not sure how that story all unfolded.
I didn't get my ass whipped, but my dad was like, "What in the fuck are you doing?"
Did you dull his blade?
No, I didn't run into ground or nothing, so we were good.
Boy, my old man would get mad as hell. And he wouldn't beat me and Chris, but he would give us, his thing was one, if it got bad enough, one swift kick in the ice. I had to learn to bend my knees. He didn't realize years later I'd bend my knees, and he wouldn't really, I'd jump like he did something. Like he made a connection, but no, it was, that's how it was. But he expected, if we run that during stuff like that with the chainsaw, he didn't.
Oh, that was a no-no.
Jesse goes through chainsaws because of that crap. And throwing them. He'll throw them every night. And we have a chainsaw tech, believe it or not. And every night they just drip her head. Even a steel, you can't throw it 8 feet. All right? Just you don't realize that. And then they'll just go, But we were for 20 years, we were endorsed by a company called Jonsered from Sweden. And they would give them out. We gave them out at like for radio things and shows, and signed them and stuff. And then Steele came in and wanted to do a whole kind of thing with us to get Jesse to play it on stage. And they was talk to them, I think, doing TV commercials with the band and all of this. So they came out, I think, in Detroit. But there was one stipulation. They couldn't work with us unless Jesse put on the safety gear. That's those overalls that come up to here, gloves, and this helmet that pulls down. And we tried. Okay, it's hard to kill enough time. We played Lumberjack at the end of the night. So he would have to run off the stage and put this crap on. So we at sound check one day, and we don't sound check, but when we tried to do that, now you can kill about 30 seconds to a minute to give a person a chance to change wardrobe, as it were. But this shit took 10 minutes to get on. We couldn't do nothing with it. And when he did get it on, he come out walking, looked just like Frankenstein. Because those things, like this, oh no way, this ain't gonna work. So that deal blew out the window.
Yeah, I know.
But he uses a steel, but destroys them constantly.
Well, it's like the city people, they're all about, all this safety equipment. And it's like, we're from the same area. You just go out, shorts, boots, and cut wood.
Yeah, safety equipment's not wearing tennis shoes to me, to my old man.
So, Jeff, for what it's worth, the last time I was in Hartwell, Georgia, it was to write lockout, tag out work instructions and do a safety inspection. So that's just the guy I am. Put the helmet on, Jesse.
Are you OSHA approved?
I'm recovering. That was my former life, Jeff. I'm recovering.
I hear you. Well, were you in the service?
No.
I just see all the flags and your little thing up there in the back.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff going on.
We do a lot. My wife and I do a lot with veterans and folks that work directly with the service. So that's where a lot of that came from.
Look behind me. Both of those are completely full of the same stuff we do too. That's why I recognized it. We worked for VFW for the last few years, and we raise money for VFW and do stuff through Harley and do all kind of everything we can possibly do.
Yeah, it's if we get to chat when you guys are in Winchester in a few weeks, we'll talk more about that and share some stories. I'll bring you guys a couple copies of my books too.
All right.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So Hop has seen you guys. I haven't yet. In full disclosure, I haven't seen you live. He's seen you a bunch, so he's got questions he wants to ask about the live show. I'm looking really forward to it. 5 weeks away. Hop, take it away on some live show questions.
Well,
we're looking forward to taking your virginity.
I'm not gonna hold still.
He's gonna be shocked. He's gonna be speechless after seeing you guys because y'all are kind of like, I don't know if y'all are big fans of Kicks, band from Baltimore, but I was always.
No, I know those guys. We've ran into those guys over the years.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of them, and they put on such a great live show. And now y'all are my Kicks. Since they've quit, y'all are the go-to guys now as far as live. I guess I'll go to, what was it like playing Woodstock in '94?
Oh, Lord. That's the story. We just came back from Europe, so we were good to go. We just played huge crowds in Europe on tour with Aerosmith and ZZ Top. And then we came in, so literally the night before we had played with Aerosmith in Boston and then came on out that way to New York. I think it was Boston. But, that environment, when you have a lot of bands, we don't play a lot of festivals because festivals just look good on paper. Unless you're the headliner.
Yeah.
If you're not the headliner, you're not getting paid nothing, and you can only sell one shirt, and you're fighting with everybody for stage time and stuff, getting your stuff up there. And for us, I didn't even. And you have to sign an agreement. You don't play 3 months before or 3 weeks after. By that time, we can make a whole lot of money. We ain't gonna fool with that for it. Just looks good on paper. But this Woodstock was different. The lucky thing for us was we latched on with the Aerosmith guys, told us they had 10 buses, we had 2. And they said, latch on with us and don't let up when you get to the checkpoint, because they were pulling all the bands over. You had to go to your particular place. And if you wasn't looking, Aerosmith had the grade A campground area, and we were supposed to pull off because we were new, but we just stayed with them and pulled right in. But I tell you, it was incredible, but we learned something, a valuable lesson that changed everything for us. One of the reasons we're still playing, and one of the reasons that people sometimes think we're assholes. It was a co-headlining night between Aerosmith would go last, but Metallica before them. And nobody could use any bombs or anything. Nobody, not even Metallica, everybody signed contracts to nothing special. They both got an hour and a half apiece. Only Aerosmith would go last. But there was something in the contract that said when sound check setup time, Metallica's road crew could clear the stage of anybody. It didn't matter who it is. So we had a buddy that worked for Metallica, and they pulled in 3 buses, all black, and 3 black trucks, and their guys got out wearing black jumpsuits and ran everybody off everywhere except for me and my brother. And as long as we sat down and shut up, we could watch what's going on. And that's when they proceeded to hide bombs and to bring stuff in they wasn't supposed to and stack the deck. And it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. They did exactly what we do. It was like, what? It's genius. And they had bombs going off. Of course, Aerosmith's people went crazy. Peter Minch, their manager, I think that's his name, and Tim Collins, Aerosmith's manager, actually went to blows after the show. We were standing right in the middle of it watching all this kind of history go on. But when we played, Jesse shot the end of his finger off. Have you ever seen footage of the blood all over him?
Yeah, I think I have.
Okay, that's his shot. Here's what happened that day. We had a massive set. He jumped in the crowd. Okay, he jumped in the crowd and something happened. He jumped back up. They pulled his shirt off and almost pulled his pants off. So he got back up. He pulled his pants off. Now you had these big screens on each side. I could have killed him. Not for pulling his pants off, for what I'm about to tell you. So you got these big screens. There's 300,000 people. I've worked my ass off for this moment. I'm out on the edge of the stage playing lead to these people, but there's a screen behind me as big as a drive-in movie theater screen, just one of them big screens. And I look up, and where he's standing with his pants off is his stupid penis. But he's 7 foot tall. So the only image I've got of that is me playing guitar. And then behind me is Jesse 7 foot tall, 70 foot tall with his penis right here. Hilarious, but not really. It's like, thanks a lot. But he blowed his finger off. He did something else. He got so winded running around doing that stupid crap that he had to have oxygen. I know that.
Well, it just seems like every show y'all do must be an adventure.
It is. It is never ending. That's what rock and roll is all about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. That's what
we don't lose a set list. You've never see us lose a set list. But it's not that we're idiot savants or anything, but we got to play about 6 or 7 songs off the first record regardless.
Yeah.
Or people will throw shit, right? It's a good problem to have. And then 2 off the second record. And then we start mixing it up with the other 5 records. And then you can only play so long. So, we don't really need a set list. We know what we're going to start with and what we're going to end with.
So, yeah, and I think that's why I enjoy watching y'all so much. It feels real, like y'all are not just checking and cashing it in, that y'all really enjoy what you do.
That's the whole thing. The whole thing is, we're not the best musicians, never claim to be. We're entertainers. I don't even consider myself as a musician. I got too much ADHD to sit and practice all day and other stuff going on. But we are good entertainers, and we've done it a long time, and we learn from the best. The people we've only been, we've played with a lot of people, but right out the gate, my heroes are who we got put on. Aerosmith. Damn Yankees are my favorite guitar players. Then we went to ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons. I used to go see Billy Gibbons, me and Jimmy Stiff. We'd sneak into concerts to go see ZZ Top because of his guitar playing, and then we immediately thrust out into that. So it was a learning experience. Just like that Metallica thing, we learned that day, and they went out there and stomped. And it was just amazing to see how sneaky they were. It was an army, it was a military mission, not just a road crew setting up. And it changed us.
What do you do different because of that, Jeff?
Huh?
What do you do different when you set up because of what you learned from them?
We're at war with everybody. When I go to work, oh, look, I respect other bands and stuff, but when it comes to going to work, you'll notice over the years, and why we don't play a lot of festivals, is I don't have any reverence. We're going out there, it's for the people. Don't tell me I can't walk out on that thing. You tell Jesse, a headlining band, that his ice can't walk out on them long stage things. That's the first thing he's going to do. It always happens. We all, you know how many sets I've started with, oh no. Okay, let me put it to you. Have you ever seen the movie Tombstone? No, Tombstone?
Yes.
The movie?
One of my favorites. Okay.
Remember when Doc Holliday?
I'm your Huckleberry.
And Wyatt says, okay, that's Jesse. Somebody is, when he looks back at it, I knew it was going to happen. Because when he did that Playgirl thing that he did back in the day, and that wasn't his idea. Griffin kind of made him do it, but he wasn't going to do it just like anybody else. He was going to do it on stage. And I said that night, was like, you'll do it on stage? Yeah. I said, all right. And it was in Long Beach Arena. And I said, when are we going to know? He goes, you'll know. So that's all it was. He turned around and said, stop, and started pulling his clothes off.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah. I'm kind of like,
a period on it. As he ran off stage naked, he runs straight into full body, sweating naked Vince Neil, and almost knocked him over.
I don't know about
Vince Neil was standing at the bottom of the step.
He'd have to have a hell of a lot of momentum to knock Vince down today.
Yeah, but anyway, it was dark. It was dark in the stage lights. You kind of blinded. No, and that one, finished that one. Then we left town and we come back and played somewhere near there in California. And as we played, SWAT teams surrounded the stage.
Oh, they was serious.
to take Jesse to jail. Here's what happened. The night in Long Beach Arena, now the crowd went berserk. It was hilarious, him doing that photo shoot in there. But in Long Beach Arena, down front down Yankees were headlining. But down front was the assistant DA, his wife, and 14-year-old daughter were down front. So that expedited Jesse being arrested.
Wow.
So wow. Then luckily our lawyer was on the road with us because we had to go pick him up in jail. And that night, the night he was arrested, he's sitting in jail in Orange County. And that's the night on Headbangers Ball they debuted the Down on Me video. So he watched it in jail.
Look.
You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah. Oh, Hop, I'm going to take the Brother Kane question if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's no problem with that.
So, Jeff, we've been Brother Kane fans from the beginning. Well, not from the beginning, but from their first album, for real. It's still one of my favorites. And Roman Glick was on that album. How did he end up with you guys?
Now, first off, I love Damon, Roman. They open for us a lot. See, here's the thing, and they'll tell you this. When our albums came out at the same time, they had #1 radio hits, but we were selling 15,000 records a week. Two different things. Having a radio hit don't mean you're going to sell no records. Okay. So we were headlining. They started opening for us, and Roman hated us. Absolutely hated us. They did. Because of what we just give them a little stage space. It's the same thing we went through. We went through our ego stage, trust me. And so then Tom and Jimmy, the original bass player and guitar player, okay, let me tell you why they out. It is a battlefield out here. And when they took themselves out before they killed themselves. Tommy Lee and Niggy Six, I'll say this, and y'all put this anywhere. They didn't have nothing on these two. I don't think they went to bed for 7 years. All right. But they did the best thing for the band. They quit. and saved their lives and got right with the Lord. It's all good. I still see Jimmy all the time. Move on. We took a year off. And then in 2000, when we got back together, Jesse had done a solo record thing he had done, and he couldn't find a bass player. Did you see Roman on it? Is it foot fetish or is it?
Yeah, I think foot
it's some
fetish.
kind of thing Jesse did that Roman played bass.
I didn't realize
I didn't know nothing about it because we took a year off. We'd been going 1,000,000 miles an hour. So when we got back together, we didn't have no idea about getting another guitar player or bass player. It was just me, Jesse, and Chris. And Jesse called me and said, listen, now just hear me out on this one. I said, okay. He goes, come down tomorrow and I got a bass player I want you to play with. And I said, who? He goes, well, now just hear me out. Who? It's Roman Glick from Brother Kane. I said, you serious? He goes, yeah, just give it a shot. So me and Chris drove down to the studio. I went in, I said, hey to Roman, everything's cool. And I said, did you learn anything? And he said, no. So we're honest right off the bat. Then we played Redneck Punk. He said, what key is that in? Because he knew the song of hearing it. I said, it's just an E. We played Redneck Punk once with Roman and made him a full member of the band that second. And we've been best friends ever since. He come in. Hold on, that's my daughter. No, she don't need me. So that's how that happened. And then Roman's one of my best friends for life. We've done so much. But you got to realize Jackyl's been 2 original bands. We were the original band in the beginning. And see, we only replaced the bass player. We didn't get another guitar player. Yeah. Because every way you look, we didn't know who it. Roman come in, it was such immediate, okay, this was easy, thank you, God. Okay. But playing with another guitar player without Jimmy, it's just weird to me. And I was like, and Jesse always wanted to play guitar. He plays guitar really good, but he always wanted to play more on stage. And we said, all right, here's the chance. Now, it took us 2 years for him to figure out how to do that shit. We had some train wrecks from hell trying to sing all that stuff. That's why most of the night I play, and then he comes in. We set it up that way. But yeah, because it's hard as hell to sing like he does and play at the same time. It's like juggling. I couldn't do it in 1,000,000 years. And carry the show as a front man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Still be able to talk shit with the best of them, right? So, and we got past that and we never looked back.
So what I didn't realize was Roman he was the second guitar player on the first Brother Kane album.
Okay. Let me tell you something. Roman Glick is the most talented person in any aspect you can possibly know. He can juggle like he just come out of Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. He can fix. He's got his own watch company. He's intricate Viking. He is the most hardcore. He's the best chef I've ever. He's incredible. Stupid. Okay. He can take a steak and a sweet potato, and it's nothing like you ever seen before. So he's the most talented. He can play guitar. He can play bass. He played all the bass on. Did you heard some of the Worley the Pirate record, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Roman played all of that. And here's the thing, that's about 13 songs. We divided it in half. So when me and my brother recorded the Worley the Pirate record, I played bass, or my buddy JJ. Then I said, Roman, I want you to come up. You want me to send you the songs? And he looks at me like I just insulted him. Hell no. Okay. I'll play them when I get there. Okay. And that's where the magic happens. He don't know nothing about it. He can get in there. He'll play through it one time, hit record, and bam. And the weirdest stuff I couldn't think of, he does it with Jesse all the time. Look, him and Jesse live as close together in Atlanta as me and my brother live here in Seneca. Just down the road. But that's how that worked. And yes, Roman played all that. And he ended up in the band, and we hadn't looked back, but we see Damon all the time. And he plays with Skinner.
Yep.
All of those guys with Town Hill. Damon's incredible musician.
Yeah.
We saw Brother Kane in 99 or
The
2000.
Roman, it's just different level of people.
Yeah. We saw Brother Kane. I can't remember if I think Roman was still with him in 99 or 2000, and it was one of the best sounding shows.
Somewhere around that point. Yeah, somewhere around that point, they broke up, and then he played with Jesse a little bit, and then it came with us, and yeah, we literally, we could have hired him and paid a salary like these people do, but I know there's no way. If you're gonna be in this mess, it's like going on the front lines in battle. If you're gonna get shot at, you might as well get your damn half.
Yeah.
So 4 quarters of Jackyl, that's what we do. And until he realized how much money we owed for being off for a year, and he just signed up to take on a quarter of that debt. But we made up for it. It was all good. It all worked out,
So I know your daughter sung some of the Worley the Pirate stuff. Who does the most of the singing?
I used 4 singers because I didn't want it. I wanted it to be more. This Worley the Pirate project, yeah, this is just the beginning. We're already 3 quarters for the next record, and it's totally different. I wanted it to be more Trans-Siberian Orchestra than a band. Okay, you got guys in famous bands. They spread out, and then Joe plays with Sam. And then you got the drummer from whatever playing with the and me and my brother can't do that. We're not that. We're just like Malcolm and Angus. You'd never see that in a million years. Now my buddy JJ's different. He's like a different kind of fellow. He's been around us since we were kids. It ain't like I'm bringing in some person. But so I looked at it like this: we'll create all the music, all of it. And we'll write all the lyrics, and I'll just bring in singers like they do Trans-Siberian Orchestra and use the guy for this. For instance, the song You Like Human, that's Wade Razor. He plays in a band called he plays in several, but his main band is I forget his name, I'll get it in a minute. But they're really hardcore. So I knew that song was for him. Then the songs with my daughter, the reggae song called Get You Some, kind of reggae sounding. None of the guys could sing it. That's the first song my daughter sings. She says her own stuff. You'll be hearing from her. She does her own stuff. But we're at the studio. Me and my brother have a studio between my house and his. It's mine, but he just lives behind it. So it's like, we got, none of the guys could sing that song. We all tried. It sounded like crap. And then my brother Chris, I'll give him credit. He goes, "Where's Emma?" I said, "She's up at the house." He went, "Get her down here." And she went in, and the next rest is history. She didn't like, she likes doing her stuff, but we said, "Honey, since she did so good on that," then we did that song F Around and Find Out. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay, check that one out. We held the record back 3 months to put that song on it. And then she sang that song on, Fat Ride, the video.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I'd heard the most.
Yeah, Fat Ride, the video. And then if you sing Country Gangster video.
Yeah, I watched that last night.
That song is sung. He's not even in the video. That song is sung by my son's band singer, TJ. I just borrowed him for a few songs. But the rapper in there is Spitswell the Beat God. He's from Atlanta. He's my wife's little brother from New York. So we brought him in on that.
Wow.
And then the two songs, did you see the 2 versions of a song called Hot Funky Love?
Yep.
Okay. That's him on them too. The one version's done at our studio, the rock version. The hip hop version, I let them have the mix and said, "Do what y'all want to it." And it come back from Atlanta, the hip hop guys. And that's what that is. So I'm trying to be a Frankenstein's monster. Worley the Pirates like pirates. There's a lot involved.
And you're a descendant of a pirate, right? Did I read that correct?
Yeah. Richard Worley. Mm-hmm. Of all things. We've traced it back 1672. He was my five grandfathers back. He was killed in Charleston Harbor, Charleston, South Carolina, 1724. He was a pirate of renown for 3 weeks until he got too big for his britches and they blew him out of the water. But you can buy the flags. You can go on. I talked to my lawyer when we dug all this up and everything came to light, thanks to Ancestry.com of all things. But this was many years ago. This is when it first came out. My mom did everything. And we had already knew. This is what we were able to actually trace it back to the actual guy. Not that it matters. I just, when I started my art site and we'd been called that, and I said, you know what? Make something of it. So yes, it explains a lot of the behavior of my brother and the whole Worley side of the family.
Well, Jeff, you opened the door. I'm going to ask you about art. I've got a buddy here in our area that was a Navy SEAL, and he's done a lot of art, but his was more about just giving the veterans. He was really serving an outlet. And it's been some wild stuff. We actually worked with him on an event a couple of years ago. Just a fantastic process. Talk about yours a little bit.
I would have never in a million years ever thought that I would have a website and actually sell anything that I did called art. Now, I did do this. I've always been an artist, but it's been weird. I'm not Bob Ross. I'm more Picasso than Bob Ross. I couldn't paint you. If I tried to paint you, it would end up a Christmas tree. Right. I can only paint what comes out of my head at that particular second. And years I painted on every dressing room wall. I can probably draw with a Sharpie some of the best penises you ever seen in your life. And I draw these elaborate scenes, and then I paint. I got a painting studio, and I just so many things. And then, like, it's been a good 5 or 6 years ago that my son, Jesse Worley, he's in a band called Shaker. Now, you check them out. They're up and coming. They're a rock band. Him and my wife said, and I was like, honey, he's like, Dad, you got to sell this stuff. People are buying, ain't nobody gonna buy this junk, because I can only really paint people from the waist down. I'm not good from the waist up. So if you look at my portfolio, it's mainly legs from the waist down. And I'm pretty good at painting people looking through their legs, but it's nothing. And I'm good at Christmas trees. So I concentrate on that, but I never thought of it. It's just an outlet. It just comes natural. And I painted some pretty good stuff. My wife's a way better artist, but what I do is like everything. When you come to see Jackyl, I want people to smile. It's not about sadness. It's not about gloom. You got plenty of time for that. When it's got something to do with Worley the Pirate or me, I want you to smile. Have y'all been laughing since we've been talking? This ain't been a doom and gloom damn thing. When you look at my paintings, I want you to smile. And I want you to do this basically. What's wrong with this guy? Okay. And that's how it works. I don't, it's just that kind of thing. I'm not that serious about it. I am, but it's not like, and I'm not, my dad used to say this about everything me and my brother did. It ain't like you're curing cancer. So that's how I live my life.
Jeff, I sent Hop a text as we're having this conversation saying, I love this guy, because what you just said, my wife says that all the time. What the fuck is wrong with you? Plenty. Plenty. Hold my beer and watch this shit.
Me and my wife are like old TV show Green Acres. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It was about a fellow from the sticks, and he lived in the sticks, but wife from New York. That's me and my wife.
Mm-hmm.
She's completely different. When she came down to where I live and cut around my kinfolks and my dad, we talk like in a Southern accent, like I am. My dad and my grandmother were way worse. She might as well landed on Mars. She'd have done better in France. She couldn't understand nothing my daddy was saying. My old man, have y'all familiar, because y'all from Virginia, right? West Virginia?
Virginia. Yeah, we've only got 5 fingers.
Virginia. Are y'all familiar with the term "kjarn," meaning shit? That my man used to say all times, tastes like different dialect.
Yeah. Hey, when I see the differences between husband and wives, I say God's got a sense of humor. He ain't gonna put two of us together to match. He's looking to go, yeah, let's make them this far apart.
Well, I thank the good Lord for mine because he matched us up perfectly. Well, she's always, she does her, I do mine, and that's how we've been able to do. Talking about writing books, we've actually thought about it a bunch because it's just we don't really have any problems in a way that, but I'm older than she is, and I've learned to pick my battles, if you fellas know what that means.
Yeah.
So I kind of just stay in my lane and we're all good.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Who
Go ahead.
Who do you reckon's the craziest one in the band? Because y'all seem to be wide open all the time.
Crazy as in, okay, that would be, as far as what you're referring to, would be me. My brother, I'm called the instigator, which means at any second I can rile everybody up. Here's what people don't realize. Okay, my brother's kind of quiet and different. Roman's kind of quiet during the day. Jesse, see, everybody's quiet but me. People think Jesse's wild. He ain't. During the day, he's quiet. It ain't even the same person. And he just starts going, but and you understand, people don't realize we're self-managed, which would be the hardest thing. I don't think there's another band in the world could live 2 weeks being self-managed. Now we have booking agents, we have lawyers, but we don't see the need to make us 4 of us. If we can't make a damn decision and stick with it, we don't need to be paying nobody. Jesse's kind of the manager because he does the talking, and we learned on perfect. You do all the talking, but trust me, he don't do any talking that we don't know what we've already passed all that. Now, he's probably talking to somebody right now about my life. A lot of people can't do that, but we've been together so long and we're such good friends and brothers that, and he knows we're from the South. I'm going to trust you till I can't. But it's like my own brother. We might have to go to blows in the damn yard, but he knows we don't have to do that stuff. We save more money on phone calls as Jackyl probably than any band in the world. We got 2 phone calls. 2. We get an email on our dates. We really don't have all these fancy meetings. A meeting, it takes another band 4 hours. We can finish in 15 minutes. And if my phone rings, it rings all the time. And if it says Jesse Dupree, it's 2 calls. It's the most euphoric, greatest phone call in history or the worst. That's our business. And then it'll be things like, okay, everything's going smooth. This one gig. And we're going to have, see, we use our equipment. We barely, maybe 20 shows in 30 years, we've used backline, what these bands fly out and use other stuff. We use our stuff. My stuff's Eddie Van Halen's old cabinets, and I've used them for 30 years since he got rid of them. No way. But, and anything after that just matters how many zeros is on the end. If it's inconvenient to us, tell us how many zeros we're talking about, and we'll get on the phone. Me, Chris, Jesse, and Ron won't be crap. But here's what they're paying us. Jeff, yes. Chris, yes. Roman, yes. You, I'm in. And here's what that means. When we get to that gig, no matter how bad it is, if I have to plug my guitar into a Mickey Mouse amp, I'm playing that damn gig and getting my money and getting the hell out of Dodge. And nobody can complain about it. Anybody says something, you're going to get hit in the mouth because you said yes. Miles, let's do the gig and get the hell out of Dodge. That's how we work it. And we know, and it's worked for us for a long time. No politics.
That's why it works.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've enjoyed. through as Hop and I've had these interviews over the last several years, it's what I've enjoyed the most. I'm not a musician. I've got those guitars. They look nice sitting there. I can't play those damn things. I can strum an acoustic upstairs and the dog doesn't leave the room, but that's it. But I love the business side.
You got a hit.
Yeah, with the dog. The dog likes me. But I love the business side of it because it's a fucking business. It's not any different than any other business. If you don't treat it like it, you're not going to be in business.
Yeah, that's Jesse. I'm not. I'm creative, and we're all creative, but that's Jesse. Jesse is business oriented from day one. That's why, we're all four quarters, but here's the thing, and we've lost a lot of money. We had a manager for a minute when our records were platinum, the first two. We actually, I think the way that went, we had a meeting at Geffen when our first record went past gold, heading to platinum, the one with the Lumberjack and all that on it. And I think they asked us, they wanted to know who our manager was. And we were just looking at them. Like, what are you talking about? Wait a minute, you ain't got a damn manager? Well, and then, but it didn't work. Jesse couldn't work with a manager, and it probably cost us millions to fire him and win the lawsuits, because Jesse's anal about that, and God bless him, and I love him for it. And he don't play when it comes to that. Okay. Hop. When's the last time you've seen us?
I think when y'all played with Tesla.
Can he hear me?
Did y'all play at York State
Where
Fair?
was that at? Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Anybody that's seen us in the last 20 years, before our intro rolls, we play For Those About to Rock. I don't go on stage without listening For Those About to Rock. And then when that plays, our intro starts, and then it's blast off. But there's two meanings for Those About to Rock. Not only is it our warning that it's time for the intro, it also lets us know that we've been paid in full. Until we hear For Those About to Rock, I'm not leaving the bus, because it's the key that lets us know that our road manager has received the rest of our money. So we're all good to go. So it's all business, everything. People don't even know what's going on. I'll tell you a funny story. In our contract, you have the contract for the show. Then you have the rider, which is the dressing room stuff and all that kind of stuff. Your drinks, your damn food, whatever. And at the end of our rider, 30 years ago, 25, we put one shaved gerbil. Now, that means that the promoter will call up and go, what the hell is this? Gerbil? What is the gerbil? That way we knew he read the contract from start to finish. Nothing should go wrong because you read everything. Okay. Mm-hmm. That holds you in contempt to write it right there. And plus we have other things in there because they take so much, promoters. 30% of your merch. Okay. 25, 30, now it gets more. Well, we have a little things in there. We ask for 40K. If it's a show or outdoor show, whatever, we have to have 40K of lights. That's 40,000 watts, 40,000 watt cans. Nobody uses them anymore. Now everything's stated in our contract. That meant the promoter didn't get his merch contract money. He too bad that light don't work. And we loaded stuff. We learned that from the old guys. And Jesse knew some of that stuff from the old guys he knew from Atlanta, because he was kind of worldly from Atlanta. But me and my brother from the Sticks, that's why we got to just like I say, Tombstone. We're the dudes riding into town, and there's the guy we needed, But let me end it with this. And my brother and Jesse are anal in two ways. Business. Me and Roman's got the easiest jobs in the world. Every morning, we have people we pay to make sure the PA's set up, the lights are done, everything. And every morning, outdoor shows, all this stuff, fairs, whatever, indoor shows, everything. When the bus stops, no matter what time, when they start putting that stuff up, Jesse and Chris get up, take their butts inside, and tell them how to do it. Hell no. What are you putting out there for? But it's every day. There's nobody, no stars. Jesse walks in there and goes, "Why are you putting the bass cabinets on the stage? Get them on the floor." And my brother go in there, and "Why are you hanging them? Let's bring the lights forward. We're not playing in the next county." And me and Roman have to worry about nothing because while they're doing it, the guys we're paying to do it are standing there with their mouths gaped open. But that's my life. We don't have to worry about it. Then you know how I sing. My monitor, we don't sound check ever. We don't rehearse ever. When you see Jackyl, that first song, you're watching sound check and rehearsal all at the same time. So you're actually getting the VIP experience for no extra charge. But Jesse has done my sing monitor, since the day he joined the band. I don't even do my monitors. Jesse walks over and talks in my monitor, and he talks about me in third person. It's hilarious. He goes, "Jeff wants 2.5K brought down. No, now bring up the nines." And hit my brother. And people have tripped out before because we're at like festivals or whatever, one of them things out there to make sure my monitor, and there's Jesse going up testing my monitor because he knows how to do it. And 30 years ago, I said, "If you know how to do it, just do it." And it's never stopped. He's always done it. It's hilarious. People don't know. We're country like that. We that's what. Huh?
You and Roman got pretty sweet gigs then of all the bandmates then.
Yeah, we do. We actually do. We don't have to do nothing but worry about. But yeah, we're serious about that part of it. Our show looks like we're just acting a fool. That's the entertainment part. That comes naturally. But none of that works if the stuff don't work. I'm never nervous for a show. I'm nervous that the damn road crew didn't hook something up and I'm standing out there with my pants around my ankles, right? Because with the guitar don't work, and I start the night. So once I get going, I'm good to go. It don't matter the size of the crowd or anything like that. As long as the stuff works, I'm good.
No, I think I've seen you since I got thinking about it. I've seen y'all at Roanoke. I think I've seen you twice since the York State Fair, or New York, or wherever it was. And it's every time I've seen you. I've probably seen you around 15 times. Always excellent show. Excellent. I mean, it's like it's on the money all the time.
I know. I appreciate it. Well, that's all we know how to do, You remember a band from Baltimore? You talk about Kicks. You remember Shannon Larkin, who plays for Godsmack.
Oh yeah, Wrathchild America. With him,
the drummer? Mm-hmm. Wrathchild America changed our lives. Me and my brother, I was probably 18 maybe, and Chris was 16 or 15, would have been 15. We went to a club and snuck in, and there wasn't nobody in the building but the bartenders and us, and Wrathchild America played. And that was another moment. That was way before, like I was telling you about the Metallica, the night we saw them, because we was used to seeing little old garage bands around our area. And our buddy said, "Come and we'll sneak in this club and see this band in Greenville," which is like 20 miles. I might as well have went to Mars. But when they hit the stage, oh my God, it was a totally life-changing experience. We've told Shannon that 100 times, like, "Dude, you changed our life."
Yeah, we got to talk to Brad a couple weeks ago, Divins, the lead singer, and yeah, they're real good guys too. And they're super talented.
This would have been 1989 maybe, or 90. I don't know. It was way back. Maybe before that we were kids.
That was probably on Climbing the Walls. They was probably touring on their first album then.
I don't know, but they were fans. There was just 3 of them.
All right.
I think. The bass player, the guitar player, and Shannon.
And Shannon, he's a beast on drums.
Yeah, he's one of my brother's favorite drummers.
Yeah, they did a charity gig here a couple weeks ago that was Ladders to Leaders, and it was Brad Divins, Brian Forsyth of Kicks, and Bob Pair of Kicks, and Shannon Larkin. They played a bunch of cover tunes.
I thought I saw that on Instagram, but I was thinking, are them the same guys? Because you're talking, I hadn't seen them. Shannon's the only one we've seen since we were kids. It's like, oh, wow, trip.
Yeah. Brian plays with Rhino Bucket still since Kicks has hung it up.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Brad gosh, Brad is a front of house guy. He does sound for a bunch of people. Most recently, I think he did Disturbed, and he's got a hell of a resume of folks that he's done sound for.
We just played with it. I wish I knew that because we played with the Disturbed. It's been about a year ago, but we played Ocean City, Maryland Bike Fest with Disturbed, and it was awesome. Wow.
Yeah. And Brad and Bob live what, maybe an hour and a half from us?
Yeah, it's not that far.
So
now we were just in a town. We were just in a town called Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Is that anywhere new? You ever heard of that place?
I've been through it. That's pretty close to Raleigh, if I'm remembering right, a little bit north of Raleigh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
We're on the western part of Virginia. When you're in Winchester, when we see you guys in Winchester in a few weeks, we're about an hour.
We played for Virginia Beach all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Virginia Beach, we used to play all the time.
I think the first time I seen y'all was a place called Slammers. It was the old skating ring, and y'all played. It was the day before Thanksgiving, and you were touring on the second album. I don't know if you remember that club or not.
I don't.
It was Thanksgiving.
I don't remember none of that. I've been sober for 2 years, so I surely don't remember. No, God, we played so many shows, man. If I added them up, me and my brother started when we were 15, 12, and then and then back in the day, we ain't like bands today. We play 6 nights a week, 7 nights a week, sometimes 3 sets.
Yeah. Well, y'all set that record for playing 100 shows in 50 days.
We got 2 Guinness Book of World Records. 100 shows in 50 days and 21 shows in 24 hours. It took the 21 shows. It was ridiculous. Dumbest shit we ever did. But we got 2 great pieces of paper that's hung up with my platinum albums and everything else. That was Jesse's idea. And the funny part about that was we did a deal with Walmart because they were carrying a record of ours, and they were letting us pull in the morning at 6. And to the Guinness Book of World Records people, you had to play a set of at least 15 minutes, and it had to be a paying show. Didn't matter how much. So we'd do a radio station thing. They'd announce to everybody. We'd pull in Walmart parking lot. They'd have to be carrying the record. Kansas City, we had 15,000 people at 6 o'clock in the morning. It shut down the main highways. And we pull that tractor trailer. We'd play about 30 minutes. The radio station would give us $50, sometimes $100. It met the criteria for Guinness. But then our crew and everybody had to go across town to the big house and set that shit back up to play that night so we could afford to do it. But when we got on the bus, Jesse had a chart drew out, and it had about 12, 15 places on it, shows. And I said, that's a far cry from 100 shows in 50 days. He goes, well, people will catch on. And they did. And then we got we was like, the radio station in Abilene said we could come in on the morning show and to expedite this and make it happen. And we started on the morning show, and we played every 15 minutes to the next morning show with a few little breaks. It was ridiculous. And by the time we got back to Greenville, South Carolina Fairgrounds to play the final 100th show, it was actually 105. And then we went through 5 tour buses. Oh my God, it was unbelievable. And then we got home, we got our 2 pieces of paper, and then we got the bill. It only cost us $120-something thousand to get that piece of paper.
Golly.
So now I can laugh about it. Yeah, it was. It was fun as hell, though. We did some wild stuff. It was great. We played so much, my fingers got holes in them. And from sweating, it was in the summer. And at night, I'd have to put super glue in my fingertips. So by the time the main show got done, sometimes that super glue would come out, and you go play lead, and that little string set down in that pink skin. Woo!
Light you up.
But it was fun, and it was something I'd never do again. We got approached by a filmmaker that wanted us to beat it. And Jesse told him some astronomical number, and we never heard from him again.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was fun. It was something.
Oh, Jeff, we've held you for a while. Is there any last pieces? I'd like to end the recording on whatever you'd like to do. But once we end it, I do have one or two questions about when we see you. So is there anything you'd like to share as just a wrap up story or fun thing?
Come and see us. And what town is it?
Winchester, Virginia.
Come see us in Winchester, and we'll blow your head off. You will not be disappointed because we're cutting. You're either going to love it or run for your life. That's it. I don't care about no middlemen.
I'm loving it.
Come on down and see us.
Yep, I'm loving it.
It's going to be awesome.